Every successful and nice looking website always starts with a better design. In our recent videos, I did explain to you guys the structure of a website, and we did say that a website has three basic structures, which we have the header, the footer, and the content area. In our today's tutorial, we will see how we could use a software such as Adobe XD or Figma to produce a good design for our website. So if you perceive an idea about a certain website and then you want to design that website, maybe using a content management system, because after this we'll be transforming this website into a site where you could build and implement it using a content management system such as WordPress, and for so doing I will show you guys how to do it. So if you don't have Adobe XD installed or you are using Figma, you can check the link in the description of this video to get Adobe XD install, sign up, and start your 30 days free trial. So after these 30 days you might be charged a little bit of fee, but there are other free versions somewhere. I don't know where you can get it, but if you want to get it to follow along with this course, you can get it to follow along. So this is a typical UI video course, that is, you will learn how you could design the user interface aspect of your website from just what you perceived, and then from there guys you can now develop this into a full website. So the first thing we want to do is to open our Adobe XD. So if I search for Adobe XD, Windows S, and then I just say XD. Okay, so we have a design already I was working on. And if you come over to files, if you have this, you can come over to files, or when you double click you have something else. So if you come to new, you are opening a new project. And I just want you guys, when you want to open your new project, don't always choose all these other guys here. So you want to be the one to customize your own sizing that you want. So you come over here, you click over here, and then it loads your new file interface. So this is what we have over here, but this is what we have here. I will still explain some little things to you guys to understand how the interface of Adobe XD looks like. So in Adobe XD we have what we call components, and components can be like shapes, text, and other things that you can use to add to your design, like to form different components. And then on the right hand side here you have the settings. For instance, if you have this like a shape, on the left hand side you have the settings of that shape where you can basically change stuffs about that shape. So you have on the right hand side you have stuffs that you can change. So over here you have tools that you can use to add content to your design, and then from there you also have this other one here that has other features beneath where you can check to see. Over here you have the libraries. Maybe you're creating a library. You have the layers, because Adobe, like if you're versed with Photoshop, you know that Photoshop mostly works with libraries. You can swap the libraries to bring someone over another, like to align them absolute and relative to each other. And also you have some plugins. If you can see, install some plugins to like facilitate your designs. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to do is not first of all to draw what I've drawn here. So you come to prototype. Now in prototype you want to choose how your design should look like. So we are trying to design a desktop version of this design. So you come and click over here. So the next thing you want to do is to come over to your right. You see here you have many features like the iPhone 13, 12 Pro Max, the iPhone 13, 12 Pro, just like that. So I want you to scroll down where you see web days. So you choose the last one, which is web 1280. So it's 1280 pixels. You click this and then you will have this structure here. So your whiteboard have been changed. The next thing I want you guys to do is to click over here. Like you can double click to change like the name. So we want you to just say this is the home, and then we'll click on enter. So we'll have this whiteboard over here. So this is the whiteboard we'll be doing our designs, but this height over here is not the height I really want. So I really want this height to be ×2, but if you want to like to create something or do any other thing, as I told you, if you're working on this design and you want to like swap or do anything, you always click here. For instance, you can like move things out on the screen without any problem. You can press the Alt key if you want to like create two of those whiteboards maybe you did for the home page, and then you want to do for the about page, the contacts page, you can just click on the alt button, and then you can now drag with your mouse to wherever position you want to position it on your web page. So what I want to do is I want to make this whiteboard a little bit longer, such that we will do our designs. And then when you make it a little bit longer, you see this guy over here always shows you where the whiteboard is. So we want to take it to the center. For instance, you can take it over here where you see this dot. So it's showing here it's separated into two halves, and this is the center. Now, getting started with our design, guys, the first thing that I hope you guys haven't forgotten about is what we spoke of last time. So we spoke about the header and the footer. So you have to like determine where the header of your website is positioned and where the footer of your website is positioned. So if you are trying to design something like a blog website, or maybe a tracking website, or maybe an e-commerce website, when you perceive the idea of what you want, for instance, if you see this other design I was doing over here, you see it actually has a transparent menu over here, where then with the navigation bar and a sign up button, then a little text here, a background, then with something like a button as if you should click to for the video to play. It has something here which is a search bar where you can search for something. Then it has this other section here where this section is also divided into two sections. This one has an image and this one has text, and with a button. And then the lower section here is just like you submitting to an email letter, then with a footer that has the social media icons. So this is how this one is. So this one has a header over here and it has a footer, and then when you see within it, you see the content area where we try to fit in some of the content on this website, or on this design, sorry. So if we come back here to our own design, or the design we are trying to make, we can do something that looks similar, or something that is kind of cool. But if you want to do, because it's some sort of a perceived design, so let us say we were working on a site, and let's just say it's a tracking website, and what we want is we want it to have a header, and this header should have a unique color, and then other aspects can follow. So the first thing I want to do is to drag a little bit of a color palette in here. So I'll try to reduce this, and then I'll try to drag it this way such that I can put an image over here where I'll be using the colors very frequently. And also I can like increase the height of this, and then I can shift this guy here to the center over here, and I fit it to the center, let it be a little bit bigger. So if I come over here, I can come here, I'm sure I have some images in downloads, and then I'll just pull in the image and put it there, guys. I'll leave the link in the description of this video where you can get the image with all these color palettes if you want to do the same kind of design I'll be doing now. So if you're just trying to follow up to get the same thing done, you should definitely do check out that link to download all of those stuffs. So these are the different color palettes I want to be using, or different colors I want to be using for this design, and then after that we can get started. So the first thing I want to do is to create a section. So we are creating a header section, right? So we just kind of click over here, and then we'll bring it over here, so we can definitely now draw a shape here which will be like our header. So this is the shape we have drawn, but the way I want this header to be like, I want the header to be kind of cool, so I want to shift this guy like, all right. So if you kind of bring this here and you draw if you want to like work on this, you should definitely come and click over here to select that particular shape before you can start manipulating it, because if you just come and draw something over here, you see what happens, you are drawing another shape, and that is not what you want. So you can come over here, you click here, now you can manipulate this shape, like shifting it down or up, or any direction that you want. So what I want to do, I want to make this guy a little bit smaller over here, and then I want to increase the width to be full width, and then I want to like create another one. So I will like this same thing, I want to do, so I'll click on the alt button, and then I'll just drag this down, so I'm creating the same section downward. All right, guys, so I have these two guys over here, and they really look cool. So what I want to do is I want to give them like some background colors. So to give background color, guys, as I told you, when you click on a shape, when you look on the right hand side, you have the different settings of which you can apply to them. So if we come over here and scroll down, you see we have over here where we have the color. So the fill in color is this, and we don't want a border. So if you don't want something like the border color, you can just uncheck it over here. You see there's no border color here, and then you want to add a color there. So what you do is you take the color picker. Since I have my colors here, I want to take this darker color over here, so I have that color. So this second guy here, I also want to take the color picker, and I want to give him the slight blue color over here, and then I want to remove the border, so there's no border. So these are the two colors we have. I know this kind of design is looking a little bit of shouty because I don't know, because I didn't really prepare well to do the design, because all I want is you guys to understand how Adobe XD works, and that is it. So we already have this guy here, and it is really cool. So the next thing we want to put on our design is, if this is some sort of a shipping website, you can have like an image slider over here that displays some images that are sliding, maybe a shipping agency website or something. So what you want to do is to take all this guy again over here, and then you draw another shape over here. So it should basically end somewhere here, and when it ends here, that is cool. And then from here we can insert an image inside here, and then that is cool. So the next thing we want to do is that maybe this should be an image slider that maybe have text, buttons and other stuff. So we'll add the things later. So I'll just give this guy a background color just for formality reasons, and then I'll just come over here, I choose the color picker, then I give him this other color here. So we have this. So the next thing we want to do is to create our footer, and we want to create a footer. The footer should have maybe this or this color. So what I'll do is I will just come here, I select such that I can create the Alt key, and I can like duplicate this, then I drag it down, like I fit it beneath here. So beneath here we have the footer. Now we have the footer here, but there's still another thing left. So we still have some white spacing where we can add some more content to our design. And what I want to do is like, maybe, okay, let's add an image here, and then after an image we will have to add a text here with a button and other stuff. So there's one thing that always governs your design. So now that I want to like start fitting in some other aspects of the design, there's one thing that always governs your design that I want you guys to do always. So what you want to do is to always click here. When you click here, when you want to start like arranging things and positioning things, you click on the grid here on your right hand side. So you click on grid. So what you see here is how your like the grading system, they always say there are 12 grids. So the grading system, this is how it is here. So you see, this is where your content starts, and this is where your content must end. So everything inside your design should be within this content space. So it defines your content space, and then that is it. So guys, this is how you could like to guide you guys on how to do your content. So if we come over here, we can pull this image here to start maybe from here. If you want to increase the size, you can increase a bit the size, and then that is it. Such that if the other content that enters, which is text, can fill in this space, and then you just try fitting in things just to this space or within this space. So the next thing we want to do now is to like, maybe we want to add an email and a location over here at the header, the top header at the top, and then beneath here we would love to add maybe a logo here, and then also the navigation menu over here. So let's write and start adding stuff. So I will just select this off, I click this, and then I now continue. So over here, adding text, you just have to come over here, you click on text, and then you can click wherever you want to write the text. For instance, you want to write the text here, and then I just want to say this should be appeared again. We click here. So we just want to say support code with crest.com, something like this. So you come, you click over here such that you select it, then you come here, we want to give it a white color, so it is white, and then we can just drag it over and we put it over here. So what I want to do is to double click on it, and then I bold it. You can take Ctrl B to bold. Then you can also change the font size over here. Maybe we want it to be some sort of 30 pixels. You click on enter after writing 30, and then that is it. For instance, if you want to be guided by the grid system, you just have to select this, and then we have to position this guy over here to be somehow in the middle here. So you have this. So what I want to do next is I can still come here, like select this, I duplicate it, like Control C, Control V, you drag it this way. After positioning it here, we want to just give like the location to be something like Simbok. Okay, Mendong, something like this. So this is the location, Yaoundé dot Cameroon, something like this. So what we want to do now is like you select it over here, and then you can now like position it. Maybe you want it to be at the end over here. So that is it. So that is the first thing we have added. So we have added like an email and the location to where we are located. So next thing we want to do now is to like, we can remove back this grid system. Yeah. And then now the next thing we want to do is like we add the logo and then also we kind of put the menu bar over here and other things. So what we have to do is like you can go to your where you have your images located. For instance, if I come over here, let me just try to show you guys what I'm doing. So if I come over here, I have some images on my downloads. So if I increase this a little bit, and then I scroll down, happening like, okay, this one copied, so we'll use this as our logo. And then let me first of all get rid of this other image. So this one here, we want to use it as our logo. So the first thing I want to do is to reduce the size maybe, and then after reducing the size, I don't know if it is possible, but what I want to do is to you just come over here like a quick, that is when you click on this image, there are these two round dots with another dot in the middle. So you want to click there, and then you just drag it to the middle until when you see it's round. So now you can resize it. After resizing it, now we want to take it over there, so you just have to drag it over here. When you bring it here, so you want to reduce it again. I'm sorry, the logo might be small, but that is not really a problem since that is a logo, and we want the logo to begin from the beginning, because if I on the grid over here, you see where the logo starts and where the logo ends. So I off the grid again, and then from there we proceed. So the next thing we want to do is to check now what do we want to add. And secondly, you want to add like a nav menu over here. So you can add or literally add your nav menu bar over here, such that you can navigate within your menu and without any problem. So since we already have text here, I'll just copy this and paste, such that I can take this down, then I can change this guy here to the home page. So we have the home, and then this is the home page. So the next thing I want to do is to like, we'll only have to copy this, Control C, V. So we have the about, we have maybe the track, maybe the contacts page. Yeah, let's end it that way. So over here we have the home, we have the about. So we have the about, and then over here we should have the track, for instance. So we have the track, and then here we have the contacts page. Now there's one thing with Adobe XD, you can like keep the same spacing between each and every element. For instance, if I want to like see, you can see these two elements have the same spacing, so I can also try these guys to have the same spacing. So you see all of them, they are having the same spacing. So one thing also want to do, maybe this nav menu is kind of small, so if I zoom in, like it's kind of large, I can like select all of them. So like this, you press shift, for instance, you hold shift on Windows. I don't know what it for Mac, but I will link it in the description of this video. So you just select them. So after selecting them, now you can just kind of like resize them over here. So you can resize them here, making them to be resized. So the next thing you want to do is like you could come over here. There are many other settings that you want to do, like aligning them to the center to this. So this depends on when or how you want to add an item to it, where the spacing is being done. And then also over here you can specify a padding between each element. Let's just say it should be 12, kind of like 12 pixels for instance. You see it reduces their padding. And then also you can also like check on how they are aligned on the horizontal. For instance, if I check on the horizontal, that is not for now because I haven't kind of converted it to, like, I have to right click, like I have to select again, like shift, select this, select this, select this, and select this. I right click and then I can group them. So after grouping them now, oh sorry, what happened to the logo? Okay, I just did something. Okay, so what I want to do is come over here. I want to zoom again such that you guys can see what I'm doing. I press on the shift, I select this, I select this, I select this, I select this. So you can right click now and then you can group them. For instance, if I come over here, still you can see we have the stack and the other way. So if I like kind of select this and then you can choose how it should be aligned. So you see this is just now like a menu and then you can like operate them all together. So you can also choose on the padding. We already did the padding settings and other things. So there are other aspects that you guys can do, check out, that is really cool while doing your designs. But as we are working on our design, we just want everything to be unique and kind of cool. So this is it for this. So what we want to do is to add a button over here, maybe like sign up or something of that sort. So what we want to do is maybe we just want to, like, let me say we can just paste this what we had as the home. So we want to just change this text to be something like sign up, for instance. So after writing sign up, the next thing I want to do is to like draw a rectangle shape. So we are trying to make this to be a button, for instance. It should be a button and it should be within this line because that is where it ends. So the next thing I want to do is to like give this button a specific color, but I don't want it to have some sort of or an external border. So what I want to do now is I want to send him behind, like send to the back, or you can come over here and you like interchange them so the sign up comes in the middle. So what I want to do is to reduce also the font size of this sign up bar. If you're clicking here and it's not working, it's either you can press Control and then you press like scroll in to see. So you click over here such that you can select a particular person and work with. So what you want to do is to, you can select this and select this, like shift this, and then you want to like centralize. Oh sorry about that. So I want to like choose only this and then I centralize it. Okay, so I did a little bit of error. So if I want to do that, I will have to select the two guys and then let me see if it's still the same. So it's centralize it inside here by clicking over here. So these are the alignments. So you can align to center or you can also align to the middle. So that is it. So the next thing you want to do is to set like a padding between the button, and then you can see that like on just the single text you can just scroll down. Sorry, so we want to check on the button. So the button over here, so there are other aspects like the fill color. You can give it an inner shadow or drop shadow. Maybe if you want a drop shadow, you can select a drop shadow and then you can choose maybe the drop shadow that you want to give, and then let's just say 30 by this. Okay, so that should be our drop shadow. You might not see the drop shadow because I have not changed the color. So if I kind of give it a yellowish color, for instance, you can see it has a drop shadow that looks kind of like yellowish. If you look now, you see how the intensity changes beneath over here. So you see how the intensity changes. So not respect to anything, I'll just take it to somehow like gray and then I can leave it there. So the next thing you want to do is to come over here. You can set, we already have a padding and margin over here, so you can just like centralize it up, and then you can also allow it on auto resize, so you can also set a fixed position while scrolling, but that is not what we want to do. And then you can also set a padding of about 10 pixels. That is whenever you want to resize it, you should have a padding of 10 pixels. And the next thing you want to do is to like give this guy a border radius that is kind of curved this way. So when it's curved like this, it is kind of cool. And then one thing, we want to reduce this to about 24 pixels. Oh, sorry about that. So I was trying to put 24 pixels before I did that. So 24 pixels, we have this, and then you can like position this here. What happened again? So okay, I did not select the two. So you press on shift, you select them, and then you can now choose your alignments over here, and you choose your alignment to be at the center. So another thing you can like, you see as I'm trying to do the setups and everything, you see that this thing also changes, and then now you can position it to really be at the center, like at the real center of it. And then if we zoom out by pressing Ctrl and zooming out, you see what we have over here. This is a nice looking header over here with the logo. I'm sorry for the way the logo doesn't look good, it's because we zoomed out, and then we have this guy. So I still kind of see the sign up bar still looking like the text still looking kind of big, so I just want to reduce it down to about 20 pixels. And then we have this, so we zoom out again, so we have this over here. So the next thing we want to do now is to work on this other section. So this section here, we just want it to be some sort of cool, and then like in the section you can just like add up some sliders over there. You're sliding images and displaying some text with the buttons. You can either put the buttons there, or you don't put the buttons, like to forward the slide or backward the slide, depending on what you want. So what you do here is like, we want to add an image here. So what we do is we just have to go to where we have images. For instance, I'll just come over here to my stock photos again. For instance, this is a stock photo that I have. I just want to copy it over here. So what I will do is I'll just carry this image over here, and then if you bring it here, you see the first thing we have to do is to resize this image up. So we want to reduce the kind of the length, and then after reducing the length, we bring it over here to this whiteboard. Like you can position it. So I want to like Control CV such that I bring it here. I don't know why it's not like kind of taking the form of this way we want it to be. For instance, we can position it the way we wanted it to be. Okay, let me just put it here, and then we want to bring this shape over here, like this shape here, and then we just want to like adjust this here. So what you want to do is to like shift, you select this plus this, then you come to object, like to object, then you come to mask with shape. So you have this guy over here. So we just want to increase him and put him over here. Now there's one thing you want to do, like putting that background overlay. So what we want to do to add a background overlay is we can just like create another shape over here. So this is a shape, and then you want to just increase it to be full width, like covering the image. So the next thing we want to do is to like remove the border, and then we want to select the color from here, which should be like, let me say we choose this color. Then now we want to come and click over here. Then over here we want to like kind of make it transparent. You see the way I'm doing it. So I'm scrolling down, as you can see it's kind of getting transparent. You see how the color shines back. So you can just increase it, and then you leave it this way. If you want, you could take like a color like black to make it really look cool. Like you see the way it is black right now. So we have this. So the next thing we want to do is like, we want to create the text area over here, and we're creating the text area over here. We just want to do so, but before we do that, I want to show you guys like something like creating components. So components, as you guys know, if you're doing programming or any other thing, components are just like reusable piece of stuffs that you can use it anywhere on your website. So you can create something that is reusable. For instance, if you want to make this button reusable, this is the button structure that we want to use all through our website. So what we do is you click over here, like we just zoom. I want to zoom in such that we can use this button very well. So as you can see, we have the button over here. So if I come to select here, I want to select this button like the whole of this guy, and then I want to like group them up. So after grouping their group, so what I want to do is to like select this, and then I want to come over here to libraries. In the library here, you want to add a library like library, so you can just come over to plus over here, like you click over there. So you want to add a component, so you are adding that guy as a component. So you see he have been added as a component. So for instance, you see the master component is always having this green border, that is just when you is click or active. When you click over it or it is active, you see this green border on it. Then now if we zoom out like this, guys, let me show you guys something real quick how we could use it. So if you want to reuse this guy over here, because we definitely want to create something that we have a button here, you see we just kind of drag and drop, and then you have this over here. Or we did select it without the text field, so I'll just have to do this, and then I come over to this component again. You can like right click, you delete the component. So we want to like do something over here, so we want to show these two guys are selected before you click to add components. So when it's added, you can double click on the component to rename it. Maybe you just want to say the button, you click on enter, it is saved. And if we zoom out now, and then we just want to centralize this guy here, and then we drag the button and put it over here, you see the button appears. But there's one cool thing about this button shows as a component, but if you want to edit the button over here, the properties will only change with respect to this button. So but if you edit this guy, so this guy here is called the parent and this one is called the child. So if you are editing something on the child, it affects only the child, but once you touch anything on the parent element, it changes all over. So for instance, if I come over here, like I want to change something, so if I zoom in here, I zoom well and then I come here, like I increase the size or any other thing on this, I can change the border, for instance, or even the color even. So if I come here, I click over here, and then I come to like let's just try border. There should be no border. Color. So if we have this color, and then I like change the color something like this, and then we kind of go down, you see the color changes on the child. So that is what I want to say. So if anything you do or any setting or any changes you make on the parent element affect all the child elements. So that's a great way of doing your designs, and then making it very easy for you to edit stuffs within your designs. So maybe we have a button here that one has this text that says view more. So if I edit view more over here, you see it doesn't change anything on the parent element, but it changes only on the child element. And the next thing I want to do is to insert a text over here. So if I centralize this over here, and then I kind of zoom in a little bit, so I want to centralize and zoom in. So I want to add some text over here, and then we can leave this guy over here. Maybe click more, you can increase the size, saying oh they are not grouped. So if they were to be grouped together, so I want to zoom in, so we click shift this. So we want to group them up, and then we kind of increase this. We have something like this. So if we zoom out, you can position it somewhere over here, and then we can add some text over here. So what I want to do is like I can just take this guy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, I bring the text over here. So I just want to write something like something with caps, best Korea. That is Korea. Oh, sorry about that. Best shipping agency, something like this. And then what I want to do is click over here. You can position it, you can change this thing over here. So let me just say we want to make it to be about 50 pixels, and 50 pixels didn't, like I said 50, pixels, for instance. So we have this, and then you can now just kind of move this here to be here, and then like we can change the text color of this guy in the middle. So we want to scroll down, we come to fill, and then we want to choose like take this guy, and then we select this over here. So we have this cool looking design. So the next thing we want to do, like we can just create that same text over here, and then we want to type something in here. So we say we offer best of customer support, become, okay, let me just say register with us today and gain one free trial. So that is it, guys. And then what I want to do is to just select, and then I want to like make it to be this way, such that we have this, and then we can position it this way, for instance, and we can take this button over here, bring it down, right down. So I want to put like a line divider over here. So you can just take any shape, you draw something like a line here, for instance. Let's make it to be like a line divider. And then now after this, we want to come over here to fill. We just want to make it to be yellow again. So making it to be yellow. So you just have to like select the color, and then that is it. So you can just kind of come here, you take this guy a little bit up, and then you just rearrange your design. So this is what we have over here as our design here. So this guy can be like an automatic slider that slides left, right, and then display content to you, or anyhow you want the content to be displayed. So the next thing we want is like to insert an image over here, and then a little bit of text here. So I'll still come back to my images here, and then I have to scroll down because I have some cool images that I once downloaded and then I never used them. So I have to come down to where I have those images, and then I can now use them. So we have something like this, and then we want to add this kind of image like this. So I can copy it here, and then that is it. So the next thing I want to do is to like we can like add this image, but I'm sure this image has a background, so it wouldn't be that good, so we won't use it neither. So if we had an image, maybe let me look for one of my images that has no background, such that we can add it over there to make it at least look cool. So this image doesn't have a background, so we can just paste it over here. So maybe I just want to add the image over here, like position it here, an image of me. If you are familiar with my YouTube channel, then you know this should be something cool. And then we have something like this pointing, recommending you guys to check them out. So the next thing we want to do is to add this guy here. So we want to add this image over here, and then we just want to resize it to be the same size as that guy. So you can instead do the other way around, sorry about that. So you can just do something like you take this image, you take this guy, like let me just get rid of this shape, for instance. So you can just get the image over here, you resize your image, so it's something like this. So for you to be guided, I want you to click here, click on grid or the layout, so you see where to position your image. Always do remember about the white spacing around, like this one here should be equal maybe to the one beneath, so we have to arrange it again to be like this. So that is good. We are just at the border. I can then come over here and get rid of this. Oh, sorry. Oh, what did I do? So fill, so we get rid of this, so we have this. So next thing we want to do is like we could still get this button over here, Control C. Oh, sorry about that. So we can just like drag from here, drag a button from here, we drop here, for instance, something like this. We just put it this way. So here will be view more again. So you can just put something here like view. Oh, it's not working out. What did I do? Oh, okay. Let's just say this was more. Okay, so we have more over here, so this should be a button. So the next thing we want to do is like we can bring in something like a header. Control C. Let's just bring this guy. Yeah. So you can bring this guy here, after which you can change like the color to be something like this. So we just use the color picker, we pick this color over here, so we have something like this. So you can just put here something like our services, for instance, and then from here you can drag this guy to align it here. So maybe we can look for some random text from somewhere. So you can come somewhere like you go to the internet. So guys, we will copy just one paragraph. Oh, sorry. So we just want to take something like this, just one paragraph. We copy this and then we come back here. We just want to like insert a text area. For instance, we can put it here and then we have to paste it, and then we have to click here such that we can work on this guy. Just put it at 14 pixels, and then we want to make it to be in form of a text box, for instance. Yeah, it should be in form of a text box. So we just have to increase this, and then we come over here, we reduce the width, so the width reduces. And when we reduce the width over here, since the text size is still too small, let's put it at 20 pixels. And I said 20 pixels, my friend. Okay, so we have something like this. So you can just position it over here. Always make good use of that white spacing and all the stuff. So it's cool. Something like this looks cool. So we can now work on the footer. So the footer area, we can just kind of work on the footer. So we want to add like social media icons on the footer. Maybe you can add your copyright message or any other thing you want to add. So we just come to images again, where I have my images stored. I have some other image like some SVG. So if you want them, I'll leave the link in the description of this video for you guys to get them from there. So icons, so you have this SVG. So I just want to select the 3 of them and then I copy them here. So I have them here. Since it's SVG, you always do have this one coming out to be kind of some sort of a color from the other. So you press Control, now you can resize it. Oh, sorry. You press Shift, you can now resize them up like this without changing the shapes. So we want to like zoom in here. So we click on this guy, we increase him a bit by pressing on Shift, so that you will not change the shape as you resize it up. Shift, increase. So what I want to do is I want to like reduce this guy again, such that I can drag this guy. So I can drag this guy here. I align them a little bit further from each other, like zooming in again. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to get them, like to move them around since they are SVG files. So also want to resize this guy here. You press Shift, then you can now resize. So you have this, you have to drag it like this. so they are having the same size distancing. So we have this. So what you have to do is to highlight them. You can choose the color over here. We want it to be some sort of white. Then now you can still highlight them also. You group them up, like you highlight, right click. What's happening? So you highlight, you right click on them, then you group them. So next thing you want to do, you want to also add them to library. So you click on this component, you can edit them here. Maybe within your whole design you want to make good use of, like make use of social icons or any other thing. So you can rename them to be like social, for instance, and then you click on your enter, you have them there. So what we want to do now is to get this guy here to the footer. I don't know why this guy really disturbs a lot. So what I want to do is I want to come here, I want to put it over here. Oh, what the shit. Alright, so we can come over to layers to select them up. So we want to come to socials over here, such that we can place them over here. So we'll have our social icons there, and if you want to add any other thing to your footer, you can add. For instance, let me say we wanted to add something like a subscribe something. So you click on this guy, you want to draw something like this here, and then in this shape again we want to draw another shape. So the shape will be like the subscribe button, and then we have this. So we want to like give this shape a color. So you just first of all remove the border. You want to fill it. Now we use the color picker, we pick this color we have here. So here you can like put your email and other stuff. So what I want to do is like we can just come and get this over here. Sorry, you click on this, you want to click here, you control C, control V, for instance. Then here inside here you want to say your email, and then after that you just want to click on select. You change it to about 30 pixels, and then you have this. So you also want to like copy this and paste it here, and then what you want to do is to bring it down here. You say subscribe, and then you want to change the sizing, for instance, to be, this one should be 25. So this should be 25, as I said, 25. You click on enter. Now you can drag it over and you put it here. Now you can change the text color to be white, and then you have your design. So guys, after you have this kind of wonderful design, or after making your design, if you want to change the font, you have to install those fonts on your laptop or on your computer, like so that this guy here or Adobe XD will automatically detect your fonts without you even necessarily like having to like restart it up or any other thing. But I don't have fonts installed, that's why I'm just working with the default font, and that is it. So now when you're done with your design, there are many other few things you can always do over here in Adobe XD. So the first thing is you can like save your design by coming to file, you click on save. You can save your designs. For instance, it is saved. So let me just save it over here. So I want to save it as shipping try, and here you are saving it as an Adobe XD format, so there's no any other format that you can save it this way. So here you want to save it as an Adobe XD file, and it can only be opened by Adobe XD. So when I click on save, it's saved. Now the other aspect, maybe you can send this file if your client or anybody you're working your website with has Adobe XD installed, they can open it. So the other way you can do it is by coming to what your site looks like. So this record guide here shows you how your site definitely looks like, while like you see it's just some sort of a website. I don't know why I'm facing some connection issues. So we have this, you see it goes to the footer, it takes you back to the header, you see everything how it is aligned, and then you can check stuffs out. So there are other things you can do. You can either record it over here. I cannot click the record button because I'm currently recording a video. You can record what is on your screen in form of a video and you send it to your client, and that is also cool. So the other thing you can do is to kind of come over here and you can export this. So export to all artboards, and when you want to export, you're exporting it as a PNG, so you can export it to this size. Download, you say export, and then when you export it up, now if you come to my files here and you come to downloads, you can see that it has been exported as an image. If over here, if I open it here, you see it is an image now, and then you can still send this to the person you are designing the website for. So guys, this is the end of the tutorial, and I hope you guys have learned so much as far as designing user interface using Adobe XD. If you dislike this video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop a new video, and keep close because in our next tutorial we will be breaking down this design into components and designing them using WordPress. Thank you all for following up, and see you guys in our next tutorial. And to leave it all, this tutorial was highly inspired by Living with Pixels. You can check them out also on YouTube. They are a very great channel to follow them. Thank you all for watching guys, and see you guys in our next tutorial.